Welcome back, one and all. See, I told you we'd be back. I know it's been hit and miss, and sometimes you don't believe me, but more regularity, and regularity is good.
That's right. In more ways than just being back here consistently.
That being Mr. Nathan Betts, who is always here at the helm.
Hey, hello.
Of the flagship of the Time Spent Poorly studio.
Yeah, we're named this this studio. God damn it, I'm having such a tough time talking today. We named this studio Time Spent Poorly Studio Enterprise.
Yes.
For no apparent reason. Because there's a console. We have a console now.
This is the con.
Yeah. You can't actually see it because you're up close and personal with us today, because there's just two people on this particular show. So you won't be able. You can see a little bit of it right here, but eventually there's going to be a whole 6-inch thing that will hide all the cords, and it'll be nice and shiny.
Yeah, we're gonna hide all the crap.
Yeah, and we're gonna decorate it a little better in here. Get rid of these panels back here. So sorry for people that are watching, all two of you. There's really not that much to look at the moment, but just like everything else here at Time Spent Poorly, it's a work in progress.
Yep. So, always a work in progress. Anyways,
always working on something.
We lost Mickey Rooney this week.
I know. I guess that replaces This Week in History, which we usually do. But yeah,
no, I think that's history, man.
That's history right there. Well, I mean, we looked him up on the internet machine, and good Lord, he was 94.
90 forever years old, man.
And he had 8 wives over his life.
Multiple marriages.
And he was the last...
because he was really good or really bad?
That begs the question, doesn't it? Well, the last time he got married was in 78. And I was looking...
I kind of did a little reading on him. What amazed me is when the Second World War broke out, he joined the Army. Now, don't they have height restrictions?
I believe so.
I guess not if you're famous. Though.
Not if you're famous or if you have lifted heels.
Yeah. Well, whatever it takes.
Yeah.
You have to be this tall to ride on this ride.
Right.
It was not.
He was the last person that participated in the silent film era that was still alive.
And that amazes me, man. Yeah. I didn't know that he was a silent film. One of the things I always knew about him was he had this incredible longing for
women.
Yeah, apparently, yeah.
All 8 of them?
Yeah, Judy Garland.
Oh, yes.
In particular. And he's even spoke of it that, they did a lot of stuff together as children. They were both being child stars.
Child stars, yeah.
And I guess he always kind of had a hots for her, but it never really panned out for him.
Yeah, that's too bad, too, because, I mean, in all honesty... Looking back over, like just seeing pictures of her and, seeing what you can find out from history and whatnot, and the articles that were written about her and whatnot. She was an incredibly gorgeous woman. Like I would have no problems being like, oh yeah, ooh, please pick me.
She was.
I'll take you for ice cream, anything. I don't care. Just go on a date with me.
Incredibly hot in them ruby slippers.
She was very good looking.
No place like home.
How old was she when she did that old Wizard of Oz? Was she about 20? I can't answer
that. I don't know.
We'll find out.
I want to say that's probably close to the mark.
The internet knows everything. Just give me a second to get to it.
Yeah, it thinks it's so smart.
I know. So high and mighty. Ooh, look at me. I'm the internet and I know everything as long as someone told it to me first.
Professors check their facts with me.
Yeah.
Anyways, yeah, man, he passed on. I mean, I don't even
Monday or something, right?
I don't even know what it was that took him, man, other than just flat out old age.
Yeah, old.
I think at some point you go, that's enough.
Yeah, done.
I don't even want to hold my old head up anymore. Yeah. So, yeah, there's it right there. Judy Garland.
22 to 69. Man, she was so
she
pretty.
She died pretty young. Man.
Yeah, very young. Mid 40s.
Yeah. 47, I want to say.
So if she was born in 22 and did Wizard of Oz in 39, she was 18? Right?
It came out in 39?
Yeah, I believe so.
So, yeah, 17, 18, something like that.
1939. She did three movies that year, and Wizard of Oz was one of them.
what that must have been like
back in the day.
Yes, I mean they weren't going to break out the computers for do any special effects.
Right.
You hook brooms and stuff up to strings.
Yeah.
And there were people with winches.
Yeah.
Dragging you.
Go this way. No, go this way. Oh, come on.
People with cameras on tracks.
Yeah.
I don't mean big cameras.
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah, that's back in the day before a camera was.
They somehow
cameras are like this small now.
Yeah, they somehow managed to pull that off.
Yeah, that's crazy.
I would be curious to know how long it took them to film that. I bet it took quite some time.
Well, she was able to do 3 movies in 1 year, so I would imagine that it took at least
6 months.
3. Or
anyway,
yeah.
Well, I mean, all things being equal, I would suppose.
Or 4 months. Yeah, if all of them got split up equally, she had 4 months to do that.
And that's one of the movies you starred in. Okay, look, you're going to be shot dead in the first scene, right?
Right. We're gonna literally shoot you out of this movie.
Yeah, it's kind of sounded like Pesci, didn't it?
Yeah.
I'm going to shoot you dead in the first scene.
So, her first movie was in 1929 called The Big Revenue. Or, sorry, try that again. The Big Review.
The Big Review?
Yeah. Apparently I need glasses. And it was just a short, and she performed a song called That's the Good Old Sunny South.
Yeah, she did it all. She sang, acted, danced, and the whole shebang.
It looks like the last movie she ever did was Mondo Trasho, and she sang in that too.
See, in my next life, I want my name to be Mondo Appendage.
Mondo Appendage.
Yeah. I think it'd attract the...
I wonder what Mondo Trasho is. Yeah. Anyway. Oh, she had her own show for 3 entire episodes.
For 3 episodes.
The Judy Garland Show, 3 episodes.
I think she was struggling with alcoholism.
She was having a hard time there at the end. Yeah.
Pretty hard to. Where is she? This is her show.
Yeah. Miss Garland, it's time for you to go. Get the fuck away from me. The name is on the title of this show. That's you, ma'am.
Yeah, it kind of makes this mandatory.
Yeah, you kind of have to be here. So,
put in cocktail.
She sang Over the Rainbow several times in her career.
Well, I guess she would have to. I would think that would be the request because she did such a good job of it.
Yeah, uncredited. In 1963, she performed Over the Rainbow in something called In the Cool of the Day. And then it looks like the only thing she did after 63.
The Mike Douglas Show?
Yeah. That was the last thing that looked to be like a actual movie. And then everything from 64 on was 3 episodes of her own show. I'm imagining that probably got canceled.
That's when your career's going.
Yeah. Yeah, and then everything else was TV appearances. The Mike Douglas Show, the 37th Annual Academy Awards. She performed.
That's when they're on there. Mike Douglas is going. Is the president? The president going to make it? Well, who do we got? Who can we get right now? Well, we got Judy Garland.
We got Garland. Yeah.
All right, bring her on here. She drunk?
Yeah, she's sober. She performed at the 37th Annual Academy Awards Cole Porter medley, which I believe, I have no idea what that is. She was on the Merv Griffin Show.
Cole Porter, wasn't he a country star?
Cole Porter, I'm not exactly sure.
I'm not sure either. I'm not sure of anything anymore. But anyways, yeah, we lost Mickey Rooney, and
yeah, how'd we get on Judy Garland? Oh yeah, because he had a crush on her.
Yeah,
that's
and
right.
So I guess they're together.
Yeah. Yeah, so from now into the...
Can you imagine the cat fight between wives going on now?
Oh, my God. All 8 of them.
Jeez.
Well,
he probably got to the other side and went, oh, God.
Well, you know, in marriage, they say, first you don't succeed, try, and try again.
Yeah. Yeah, I would say he did. He took that to heart.
Now, in all honesty, you make it through your third marriage, and you make it to your third marriage. You're like, okay, old adage, third time's a charm, and it goes to you. At what point do you just be like, all right, fuck it, I'm done?
See, I don't
confirmed
have that,
bachelor forever.
I don't have that kind of tenacity. I went through one marriage.
Yeah. Practice.
Made it like 4 years.
Mm-hmm.
And broke that one up, and 2 years later I met my wife and have been married to her ever since. And I've told her, man, just because I should, for whatever reason we're not together anymore, and I meet another girl and I fall head over heels in love with her, that's not a reason to get married.
No,
not a third time.
Nope. No, I've discussed this with myself several times, and if this marriage that I'm on now first, that's gonna be my only. I'm a one and done type of dude. So if it doesn't work, I'm a bachelor forever.
Well, I don't think we're gonna get divorced because we have an agreement that whoever leaves has to have the dogs.
Oh, right. Yeah.
So I ain't leaving.
Mm-mm. Yeah, you don't want to deal with 3 dogs, do you?
No, not all at once. Not me.
How is
Leonard? Leonardo?
Yeah, how is he?
He's on the recovery, man. It's up and down and up and down. I oiled him up real good before I left.
Yeah.
He gets his medicated bath when I get back home this evening.
Nice.
But I mean, his spirit. He's a good dog, man.
Yeah.
His spirit.
He's so cool.
He don't even know he's sick.
Yeah.
He just thinks, well, I guess I'm just an ugly duckling. All the other dogs got hair.
Is any of it coming back yet?
Yeah, but it's coming back in
patches.
Yeah. And it almost makes him look worse.
Right. Because then he's still got
it's not uniform.
Yeah, he's still got the spots that look a little shitty.
The elephant skin looking stuff. That's finally going away.
Yeah.
But it's drying up and getting flaky and it's dying off.
Yeah.
And it's like you go from one hell to another one.
Does he still smell weird? Or does he smell better?
He smells better. He still smells, but it's a lot better than it was.
There for a while, he was quite pungent.
Yeah, and I don't even think, like I said, it's all he's ever known.
Yeah, he doesn't know any
since
better.
he was a pup. The day he opened his eyes, he was this way.
Yeah.
So he doesn't. I mean, I can imagine how wonderful life's going to be when he gets past all this,
I would imagine, I'd wager to say by the time Christmas rolls around, he'll be fine.
Oh, I sure hope so.
Yeah.
I think ultimately he'll be cured and done with it before that. But I mean, now you still have to wait for all the hair to grow back and all that,
And the smell
things to
the
normalize. Yeah, because you have a whole thick dermis that's going to have to be completely turned over before this is like done and finished. Boy.
Yeah, and I'm not sure. The human skin goes through its complete cycle in like 8 or 10 months or something like that.
Something like that.
So you have at least that to look forward to. So, and you've only had him a month.
Yeah.
So,
but you know what? I'm going to do it. I'm going to. If I don't, who will?
Yeah, nobody.
I mean, other than that, his prognosis is dismal at best.
Yeah.
I'm not going to allow that to happen. So.
Yeah. Well, and he's way too cool for that too. I mean,
he's a cool dog. He's a cool dog.
He's a cool little cucumber.
I guess that just comes with adversity. You know what I mean? You stand up and do it, or you lay down and die.
Yeah. You got a picture of him? We could. We don't have the screen share ability at the moment, but you know what? I snapped some pictures. You keep talking. Okay. I snapped some pictures.
I was gonna say I can probably pull one up here. Anyways, Leonard is an adoption dog. He's a rescue.
He's a little
Demodex
special.
mange. Yes, special is probably the best way to put it. He has issues. Apparently, him and his mother was found in a field, and he, when they found him, had absolutely no hair whatsoever. He had little tiny sliver of the white hair on the back of his neck.
Little fella.
And it's starting to come back.
This is, can you see it?
There you go.
There's Leonard.
That's Leonard.
And then there's Leonard lounging.
That's Leonard in his favorite place. He collapses the pillows in the back of the couch and lays in it.
Just so you can get an idea of what we're talking about. He's so cute.
Leonard the dog.
Yeah, he's a good guy.
He'll make it. He'll be okay.
And he got his name Leonard because you're putting neem oil on him,
Yeah, one
correct?
of the cures for it is neem oil, Neem, neem oil. And because it's a cure doesn't mean you put it on him, now it's cured.
Right.
It means this is a constant application thing. And
for the next several months.
But I'm going Nimoil. It's like Leonard Nimoil. So
it was kind of he texted it to me as a joke, I think, right? Like you just sent that as a joke, right?
Well, kind of, sort of, but then it just stuck.
Yeah.
And it was like, oh, I guess his name's Leonard.
He kind of does. I mean,
kind of looks like a Leonard.
He's not. I mean, he's cute, but he's cute because he's kind of ugly. Like he's got the face only a mother could love type of a thing.
Yeah.
And for that reason, he does kind of look like a Leonard.
He's got what is it, an overbite or an underbite?
He's got an underbite because
bottom jaw protrudes, and he walks around and the tip of his tongue hangs out.
Yeah. So you see him like this, just. And it just looks like he's got a shit he's got a shit
and then right in the
idea
middle,
on his mind all the time.
And the loose skin all around his face, and then right in the middle of it, you got these gorgeous golden eyes. You know what I mean? You just kind of go, oh, and they're poor little guy.
Yeah, his eyes are gold with just a slightest tint of green around the rim of them.
But people they develop a rapport with their dogs, and you have your own tones that you use. And Abby is Abogil to me. I come here, Abogil. And Hubert is Lulu.
Yeah.
And Leonard has now become Leonardo.
Oh, nice.
Come to me, Leonardo.
Nice.
And they all recognize it, and they all look at each other with disgust. And go, the old man wants us again. Come on.
Damn it, here we go.
Want food, we better go.
Yeah, I have my own tones with my dogs, too. And whenever they know they're in trouble, because I will holler out the door to them, and the neighbors just have to think I'm just the worst person ever. But I said it as a joke, and it just kind of kept on doing it. And so now it just kind of comes out naturally. But whenever I get really irritated with them, I just go, "Shut up, faggots!" And then they instantly they know that I've had it. But I don't know why I started doing that. I realize it's super, super insensitive, and you're not supposed to use that word or whatever. But that being said, it just comes out, and they know now to shut up as soon as that comes out of my mouth. So
Devin calls my dogs the honkies. Honkies! and they love it. It's Devin. Devin's so cool. Well, of course Devin's cool. Devin's a butcher. It's the dog's best friend.
Yeah, Devin brings good doggy treats.
Honkies! Come here, honkies! Kind of funny.
Yeah.
Anyways, yeah. So, let's move along here.
What's on your mind this week?
We contacted. I don't think whoever left this piece of wire.
Oh, that'd be me.
Yeah.
I was doing the same thing. Damn it! Every time I was doing the same thing. That's why there's plastic that used to be a twisty tie, and now it's just a wire.
And anyways, we contact each other various times during the day for different reasons, and some involving work, and some just because we thought something was funny or whatever. So anyways, he contacts me. I think it was yesterday.
I think yesterday, or it might have been Wednesday.
Maybe it was. And he says, I just found out about this all-black punk band from the early 70s. And of course, my reaction is, oh, God.
How's this going to go?
Yeah. Let's see. How do we respond? We don't want to hurt anybody's feelings.
Yeah. Well, first,
it's like, oh, really? And he goes, it's like Called Death. I'm going, oh, even more. That's a nice perky name and stuff. And curiosity reigned supreme. And later on, I got done with work and I came in and went, I'm sitting here waiting for the old lady to get home and stuff. And I went on Netflix and
it's a documentary, and the documentary is called A Band Called Death. And so you learn all about this band called Death.
I played it, and I have to say, I was shocked.
Yeah.
I was shocked and taken aback because
it was like 1971, 72 or so.
Something I'd listened to.
Yeah.
It's just that the setup was so weird.
It is. Man. It's so odd.
And that's another question. Why would they choose a name like that? Why would they choose that type of music for their particular skin tone?
Right.
And it's like they stacked as many chips against themselves.
Yeah, all of their peers were still doing, like the Motown was still.
I'm not supposed to, but I'm going to hit my stuff.
Okay, the Motown, all of that Motown stuff was still going on, like big time. That was like 71, 72. Like it might be like starting to fizzle out. And
I would say you were probably towards the end of the third quarter through it.
Yeah, but it was still going on pretty heavily.
Starting to
wind down, and funk was starting to come around.
Well, I think it was Smokey Robinson, like when the Beatles came, when they had the British invasion. I was watching a documentary about him, and one of the guys that was, in his band says he just looked at him and went, "Well, that's it. It's over."
Yeah, that's finished.
And walked out,
Yep.
and it pretty much did.
Yeah,
because everything just kind of went from here
and
and swung over to here. So if you look at them, they transferred with it.
Yeah, they did, but for no apparent reason whatsoever.
It's like, let's get on this train, but let's put as much stuff against us as we can.
Yeah, and it's a weird.
But our product is going to be really exemplary.
Yeah.
Okay, guys, good luck.
Yeah, have fun.
I'm going to be a carpenter.
Sayonara. Yeah, I'm going to go pick up this hammer and see where this will take me.
Yeah.
And it's not to say that that black folks can't do whatever they want, whatever it is they want to do. It's just, it seems to me that these dudes, for the time that they were living in, 71 and 72, they were pretty much the only ones that were interested in the Who and rock and roll in general.
Before that, though, you had like Little Richard.
Yeah. He was like a piano rock and roll guy, which seems to be a little bit different.
You
even
had
still.
Bo Diddley.
Yeah.
Whom, I mean, he even played with the Beatles, and I mean, quite frankly, arguably started rock and roll. So I don't know why we would say that to be black is not conducive to rock and roll.
I know, it's so weird.
You think that it would be just the opposite of that, but that's not the way it evolved.
Yeah,
I think
a bunch of white dudes got a hold of old black music and started.
You know what? And please, I'm not trying to sound racist at all, but this is the way my mind works. It just blows my mind when I see a black guy from England walk up to me and go, "Hello."
Yeah, it is a little. Yeah, it does shock you a little bit. It's the last thing that you expect.
Yeah.
You're like,
because that's not where we live. That's not what we're accustomed to see. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with it. It's just I did not see that coming.
Didn't see that coming. I was waiting for him.
It's actually kind of comical. It's like, say that again.
Yeah, just humor me.
Yeah. Have you never heard that before? No, I've heard it, just not from you.
Yeah, not from your particular.
It's like, and I think I told it on the story on an earlier show about the two guys from Britain that were here going to school.
Yeah.
And they were geologists, and they were getting ready to leave. I told them they couldn't leave until you said, "Are you really?" I told them, just say, "Are you really suggesting that a 2-ounce swallow could grasp the husks of a coconut?" And I got that far through it, and they both started laughing. I go, "Monty Python!" Yeah. And then it was another
20
beer.
minutes.
Yeah, it was another beer, and 20 minutes later before they finally left, and we were all talking Monty Python. It was hilarious.
Monty Python's the universal language between two countries.
I guess it is, man. But it's kind of the same thing here. When you hear this kind of music, if you didn't see the picture,
right, you just heard the music,
your head would not have gone there. Your head would have gone to a tall, dark-haired white guy wearing a leather jacket.
Yep.
Bell
bottoms,
about this big around.
Yep. Rose-colored glasses, round. Yeah. So all of that set up to be said, we'll play you a few cuts off the track. It's only 7 albums long, and the whole thing that ended up happening was they got hell-bent on having their band be called Death, and it literally was a foreshadow of the band. It pretty much killed their career. They refused to change the name, and the name killed the band.
Because everything they had set up, the persona of the band revolved around that name.
Yeah.
And it's like,
you can't have one without the other.
Yeah, you're going to yank the foundation out from underneath the house if you change the name. And they're brothers, too.
Yeah, all 3 of them are brothers.
That.
Yeah.
And 2 of them are going, change the name. Yeah. It's a record
we're about to make
contract.
It's 1974 now, and we're about to make $20,000. Let's change the name.
But the brother who was basically the fuel of this fire, he refused.
He's like, no, not a chance.
So I mean,
he said in no uncertain words, he told the dude that told him to change the name, he said, "You can go to hell."
That's like telling Leonardo da Vinci he's got to change paints or something like that. You know what I mean? Leonardo. And but like I said, leading up to all of this, I went into it very skeptical. I came out of it going, "Wow."
You want to do this one?
Sure.
Okay. So the first one, they say in the documentary, they said that they were they'd go lock themselves into the room. Their mom said that they were allowed to annoy the neighbors from 3 to 6, and then after 6 they had to stop. And so they'd go up in their room,
they had 3 hours,
lock themselves in the room, and just make all kinds of noise. But they couldn't decide where they wanted to head with it. If they wanted to go Motown, if they wanted to,
and they were like in the attic of the
in
house,
the attic,
which I mean, between roof and inside the attic, you literally had 2 inches.
Yeah, so they're pretty much playing to the whole entire neighborhood.
So yeah, the roof was like a drum skin.
Boom, boom, boom. So they're trying to figure out what they wanted to do. And they went and saw the Who when the Who came to town, and the brother that was the fuel of the fire that pretty much killed the band because he wouldn't change the name. He's like, "That's it. We're going to become rock and roll stars, and that's where we're headed with it." So,
and I'm going to emulate Townsend.
Yeah.
And
he
pretty much did.
Pretty much did.
In my opinion.
Yeah. So here we go with this is
I think this is my favorite cut.
Yeah, this one's pretty good. And you can hear the Who all over this.
Oh, sure. And right now, anybody that's even close to my age is hearing this going, whoa.
And not being able to picture a black dude singing like this for whatever reason.
How did I miss this?
Yeah. Because it never came out. Literally did not get released until 2000.
This is early 70s guitar work.
The release date, when I purchased this from iTunes, it was released in 2009. They recorded this seven track album and got all the way to the point where they said, we're ready to go. We've got copies and we're ready. Just got to change the name. They're like, nope. And so they never came out. So they pretty much just digitally remastered it and re-released it.
Keep on knocking.
Yeah.
I love that. And the one part where they were literally selling their 45s on eBay for like $600.
One of them went for $800. Yeah.
Just an old 45.
Yeah. So that's one of them. This one's pretty good too. I like this one. This one sounds a lot like the Ramones, which is another conversation we can have here in a second.
Yeah. That's the Ramones. Before the Ramones.
Yeah.
Why is my head stranded on in a dream? It's that time to play. Why all these lights popping up in my face? Or am I freaking out, 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 freaking out?
Yeah, the Ramones wouldn't be around for about another 2 years.
Yeah, so these guys, according to these guys, they came out in 71. And they're from Detroit. Death is from Detroit. The Ramones came out in 74, and they're from Queens, New York. So how do you get that far apart, that many years apart, but come up with a similar sound? How is that possible?
That far apart. As far as miles go, you're looking at 250, 300 miles.
Oh, is that okay?
Yeah. I'm sure that they were not
in contact,
communication with one another.
Well, and the areas like Detroit and New York don't have anything in common as far as their musical scenes, I don't think.
No, I think there's two different flavors there.
So how do you get two people or two completely like 100% opposite from each other?
New York, isn't it, where Tin Pan Alley is and all that kind of stuff is?
It's possible.
Dylan and all them live there.
Yeah. But then you have these kids that were raised to listen to gospel music and Motown and blues and everything.
Well, yeah, because
and they come up with something that sounds like the Ramones.
That was an industrial center.
Mm-hmm.
You had General Motors and Ford there, man, and there, you had railheads that all starred out of there, and obviously Motown Records.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Because you got to keep all them people working people busy somehow.
Yeah.
And one of the things that really drives that home is at the beginning of this documentary, they're showing you going through Detroit, and it's a ghost town.
Oh my God, it's like
decomposing.
Yeah,
and you can look at it and go, at one point in time, this was a hustle and bustling place, man.
It's almost a modern day abandoned city. It's like it's very close.
At least that section of it.
There's like entire sections that they showed where there's like trees growing through porches and all kinds of crazy stuff, like porches falling down, all kinds of crazy stuff. Just
it's terrible.
Yeah, it's kind of
it kind of makes you wonder
sad.
what has happened to us as a country that one of our cities just stops being.
Yeah. So now we're back to somewhat more Who influence on this one again.
Yeah, it's pretty obvious, man. They probably had all the albums and listened to it. No, you got to do it like this.
Yeah.
Like this. See how he's doing?
And the drummers quick and just fast paced, in your face, early punk.
Yeah, real early punk.
Yeah. Like if you didn't know any better, you just heard this, you didn't know the story behind it or whatever, you're like, did somebody stumble across the Ramones practicing one day and
Let
just
me ask you this.
previously unreleased?
When did the Sex Pistols start?
Oh, let me look that up. So
I would be curious about that. I'm just trying to figure out, could they have possibly heard anything like
else?
that?
Okay,
the Sex Pistols those were British.
Right. Okay, so we've got the Ramones.
But then again, so is the Who. So
we've got the Ramones from '74 from New York, and according to the internet, Sex Pistols are from '75, and they are from London.
So they predate them too. So I mean, I would throw out this challenge that if anybody could come up with a punk band that predated these guys, I mean, it's arguable that these guys kicked this whole ball off.
Well, except for they kicked it all off
without
anybody knowing. Well, except for without anybody outside of Detroit knowing it, because they played local shows in Detroit and whatnot.
But that's like saying you're the first guy to climb this mountain, but nobody saw.
Saw you do it.
But that doesn't mean that you're not the first guy that climbed that mountain.
You're just not the first guy that can.
You just
document
weren't famous for it.
Yeah. So now the Ramones and Sex Pistols, that's always been a big. Well, which one of them was first? Now there's always going to be a little asterisk by them.
Neither.
Neither. Yeah. So, I mean, they'll still get the credit because they actually made it popular. There's no denying that the Ramones and Sex Pistols made it popular.
We had that discussion earlier. I'm not saying that there wasn't better music, punk music done.
Apparently, we've got a.
That would be my lovely wife.
We got to be contacting the outside world. One moment. Stand by. Listen to some music while he talks to his wife. He's got to go do something after this. So
I have to take this.
but to your point that you were saying earlier, there is always going to be stuff that came out after this, and things always evolve and become better.
That's right. I mean, you can invent a widget. Mm-hmm. That doesn't mean it's the best widget ever made. I mean, because now people are going to be improving on that. It's still a widget, but I mean, they're going to bigger, better.
Right. So
widgets.
If you want to put it into technology terms, if these guys were like the Apple I or whatever, the first Apple computer, but nobody ever saw the Apple I, and then now we have iPads and iPods and whatnot, and they're like, hey, by the way, this is what we made before the iPad came along. Anybody give a shit? Oh, no, nobody gives a shit. Okay, well, all right. Never mind then. Okay.
You can't even put that in your pocket.
Yeah. So, while they can brag all they want that they were around, that was the only thing they cut back then, and 35 years later it gets unearthed.
But I still have to say, there's a lot of this music that I will listen to today because I like it.
Yeah.
I'm not one of those guys who like gets boxed into a certain like country people like their country music and the rest everything else sucks, and people that are like classic rock and rollers that classic rock is only everything else. You know what, I like anything that's good.
Yeah, and this is by
and guess
far.
what?
Yeah.
In every one of those categories, there's music that sucks.
Yeah, absolutely. And
Really
this
sucks.
this isn't that.
This doesn't fall in the suck category.
Yeah, this is actually really good. I think I mean I watched the documentary. I'm like, I only heard bits and pieces of all of that music. I gotta hear it, and I gotta hear it. I gotta find out what it's about.
You know, another amazing factoid here is these are basically teenage black men in Detroit.
Yeah, I think they were 19
that wrote this stuff.
Yeah, that keep knocking on the door. He was he tells the story of how that got written. They were allowed to play from 3 to 6, like I said earlier, but there was actually teenage girls walking by, and they came up and were like pounding on the door to let them in so they could watch what was going on, because it was, you know, any form of entertainment,
And it's free.
Yeah, free entertainment, loud noises, let me in, I'll watch.
It's free, that's right.
And they're out there banging on the door, and he's like, and so they're like, go for it, keep on knocking on the door, we're just going to keep on playing our music. So that's how that one got written. But
and that seems like that's a pretty common theme with a lot of songs, especially rock and rolls and blues songs, of somebody just talking about something
that was going on right then.
And they just started messing with it. And next thing you know, it's a song.
Yeah. So these guys got back together in 2010, I think, for the first time in 34 years. The brother died in 2000, and the two brothers
died of lung cancer.
Yeah, died of lung cancer of all things. But the two brothers that weren't this tortured genius, so to speak, they went on. They got frustrated after the thing happened where they got signed but ended up not being released because of their band name. So they go and visit a family member that lives in New York, and they just kind of never came back. Well, the tortured one, David, ends up going back to Detroit, and the other two stay there and become a reggae band for like 10 years. And they're actually pretty prolific reggae band called Lamb's Bread. And the guitarist of Lamb's Bread is their guitarist for Death. So anything that's new and is under the heading Death, which includes this song right here. This is them 35 years later, I think.
And they even made the point that it brought them to tears that for some reason this guy could play the guitar just like
their brother,
the same style that his brother did.
Sounds pretty much the same.
In 19 seconds we'll be jumping up and down this place. Everybody needs a party every now and then. Come on people, take a dip. Release.
Rock and roll.
Release.
So I mean, put them in a time capsule. They didn't change at all.
That.
Yeah.
To me, that's good stuff.
Yeah.
And it's amazing how things like that transcend time. I've got a T-shirt that I wear, especially in the summer, because it's not T-shirt weather around here unless it's summer. And
right.
It's a Ramones. It's got the Ramones emblem with the presidential eagle, but he's got a baseball bat in one hand and stuff. I can't tell you how many times
all ages
people
I've watched it.
Go, man, the Ramones, I love the Ramones, man. Yeah. It's like, really?
Yeah. I've seen it happen at least 5 times.
Been in your daddy's LPs or what?
Yeah, so that's our extremely long discussion on and we actually, this came up because I wanted to talk about it on my movie podcast, and we only ended up talking about it for about 10 minutes. So this was the little bit extended version of what what we kind of discovered and whatnot, and the actual music behind this documentary. So if you want to see the documentary that we're talking about, go to Netflix. It's on Watch Instantly. It's just called A Band Called Death, and it will give you the whole story that we just told you in 10 minutes. So you'll get the hour-and-a-half version of our 10-minute story.
They'll explain it all to you, man, right from the horse's mouth, so to speak.
And then you'll get done and go,
why wasn't there a band called The Horse's Mouth?
I don't know. You know, there has to have been. They just never made
Google
it.
it.
I will. I'll do that right now.
See, this is why we love doing this job, man, because we can do fun stuff like that. Just come up with stupid questions. Anyways, yeah, man, there's got to be, huh?
Oh yeah, probably. Hold on, I gotta put.
If there's not, there should have been.
I gotta put iTunes on pause. Horse's Mouth. Straight from the Horse's Mouth. That is a movie. That's a movie. Nope.
Wow.
Nope.
How did that not occur?
I don't know.
There's so many different. It's almost like they're running out of names. It's like a password. You know what? I'm sorry, that name has already been taken.
Yeah. Dang it. There's.
You best have an asterisk in your rock and roll band.
Oh my God.
You must have a capital 3 numbers.
I hate creating passwords. Passwords are like the bane of my existence. I have like 86 for all the different things I do, and the one at work, it has to be exactly 8 characters long. It has to have a number and a special character in it, but it can only be these special characters. And I'm like, how about we just type in something we can actually freaking remember and then just call it good? I'm pretty sure nobody's going to turn on my computer at my house without my permission. They're not going to be that much of a dick.
I can't wait till they come with the thumbprint
identification,
so nice. Man.
I used
thumbprint recognize
on my very first computer I ever had. Instead, I did it on all 5 hands, but there's this little thing off to the side, and you could swipe it, and it would be, that was my password, was swiping my finger, and I haven't seen it since. And that was clear back in 2008. So must have been hackable or something.
I guess.
Of course.
Somebody accidentally brushes against it. Whoa, who's Nathan Bass? Yeah, look what coming up. That's a bank account.
Yeah.
Let's just do a transfer while we're here.
Oh,
sorry.
So much. I know this. I don't know what it is. I guess it's the microphone's sensitivity, but like you can't even come close to touching this dang thing. So. On our movie podcast, he's really one of the guys is really animated too, and he kept on doing that the other day. And his wife reaches over and she's like, "Don't do that," but it just kept on like bong 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 bong. But yeah, I guess that's what happens when you have really super sensitive microphones in front of your face. So that was our music discussion. What else is on your mind this week, Mike? Any pet peeves or
kind of sort of. I was kind of entertained actually. We're all aware of the healthcare debacle that's rolled out, and we all know who is in charge of that. Kathleen Sebelius, who suddenly has just thought it would be a good time to retire and resign from that position. Makes you wonder what's coming next.
Yeah.
Usually when people are getting out of the way of something, it's because something's coming.
Else.
Yeah. So that's kind of a newsworthy thing that makes you scratch your chin and go,
Just out of nowhere, she resigned, huh?
Yeah, she's done. I'm out.
Okay.
See you around.
Now,
yeah, this is my pet project. Yeah, I've been ramming this down people's throats for like 4 years. Yeah, I'm the architect of this whole internet thing.
Now I'm done.
But I'm going.
Yeah. I don't think history is going to be kind to her. For no fault of her own, I don't think either.
It's going to be kind to any, especially like Eric Holder, who's battling with Congress right now because everybody thinks he's a freaking crook, and so do I.
Yeah.
I don't know anybody that really doesn't.
What's the 5-minute or the 3-minute version of that?
Well, look, he had the Fast and Furious guns things that he's. I didn't know anything about it, and then they get his emails. Yeah, he knew everything about it.
Oh, okay, I remember now.
Well, I mean, and there's been several on that. There's the whole thing of the IRS. There's no scandal there. There's no scandal. It's still under investigation. How do you know there's no scandal? You just don't want there to be a scandal. Yeah. So now they're up there telling him, basically grilling him, trying to get him to answer questions. And he looked at this one congressman and says, "You don't want to go there." Really?
The president said this?
No.
Eric Holder.
Oh. And to me, I'm just going, you know what, man? This is like the height of arrogance on both sides of that table.
Where?
These questions could easily be subpoenaed and answered. You got what's what's the one broad? IRS.
Monica Lewinsky.
No.
Oh, okay.
No, she's one of our favorites. But she's the one that standing on her Fifth Amendment. She's not going to answer any questions after she has her say so and kind of.
Oh, it wasn't that Nancy Pelosi bitch, was it?
No.
God, I hate her.
I can spend a whole show on Nancy Pelosi. But anyways, she's just now not answering any questions. Everybody knows that there's been wrongdoing here, but they're stonewalling. They're basically, all the evidence is in this room. They're all together holding the door up so you can't look inside.
Well,
so that means they're innocent because they haven't been
proven
caught. Yeah, it hasn't been proven, but yet everybody knows.
Well, the second you have to plead your fifth,
that's an admission of guilt in my estimation.
In that case,
do you know anything about this? Well, I'm going to plead the fifth. That means yes, I do, but I'm not going to say no.
Yeah. I'm not going to go on record by saying the words yes, I do. I'm sorry. That's in anywhere else that would have been.
It's just amazing to me the corruption in our government. They're so busy fighting with each other.
Could you imagine if George W. Bush would have pled the fifth on anything that he got up to in his term? If he pled the fifth on the whole, we didn't find any weapons of mass destruction. Can you imagine the field day they would have had with that?
Well, I think they're going to have a field day with this, but it's going to be on the election day.
Yeah.
I think people are all completely aware of it. And I think the reason it's so blatant right now is they all know that
they're screwed.
Well, their end of their term's coming.
Yeah.
They're not going to run for anything again. They're done. So we might as well bam and hammer this in, whether the people like it or not. We're going to have it the way we want it.
Ugh.
So it's going to take whoever comes in next is going to take them a half a term just to undo the mess.
Well, is there anyone, and I don't even give a crap what side of the aisle they're on anymore, to be honest with you, is there anyone that's worth electing anymore?
I think that there's actually quite a few out there that are worth electing and would even make a good president or speaker.
Are there any that might run?
Are they electable?
Yeah. And in the climate and the way that we do elections these days.
The problem with the age that we live in, the age of the internet, is you can't hide anything. And nobody has gone from cradle to where they are now without doing something wrong.
Yeah.
If there were people like that, if we could do that, Christians wouldn't have to ask for forgiveness now, would they?
Right.
Because they know.
Right.
They know. We were born sinners, man. Yeah. And I mean, you could call it faith, you could call it happenstance, you could call it whatever you want. There's nobody lives a flawless life.
Right.
So if they don't want you in office, they will dig something up.
They will find something.
Inflame it, and they will pin it on your forehead.
Yeah.
Until they get enough people to go,
Yeah.
So as a result, elections have become a very, very dirty, muddy practice, man. And it hasn't gone to what the person's qualifications are to deal with these issues as much as it is who can sling more mud
quicker.
Than the other guy, make you not like him.
Yeah. Who can get ugly first, basically.
I remember as a child, like Richard Nixon running for office. Now, nobody really liked Richard Nixon, but Richard Nixon ran on his qualifications. He said, look, I can do this, and I can do this, and I can make that happen. And people went, all right, maybe we better elect Nixon. And they did. These days, Nixon would never even wouldn't
even made it to the primaries.
No.
He would have been Herman Cain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's the world we live in right now. It's just, and you know what? And these guys got in there, in my opinion, in the cover of night and by basically bullshit. In order to perpetrate their agenda, they did it. Now they don't care.
Yeah.
We've already set the ball in motion.
Yeah.
We've already made this law happen. We've already pretty much gutted. And how ironic is that? I'm going to repair this, and what was it when his first one? Within the first 30 days, shovel-ready jobs. We all heard all that stuff. Things just got worse. Here we are, what, 7 years later? 6 years? 7 years?
Yeah.
Later, things are worse.
Yeah.
And they're going to get worse. And the surprising part is, they elected him again.
Yeah.
Because he got out there and threw some more bullshit out on the stage. Check it out. War on women. I'm sorry.
War on women.
War on women.
I don't even get that.
I don't either. I kind of like women.
I think they're great.
I don't know anybody that, them women, we need to get them.
Yeah, we got to put them in their place.
That's right. They're going to screw things up if we don't get them, man.
Oh, by the way, how many of you dudes out there in general wouldn't be where you were without that woman that's there propping you up? I wouldn't be in this nice house without my woman. You wouldn't have all the nice things you have without your woman. Everybody wouldn't have all the nice things they have without their woman. And I mean, unless you have a particular bend towards, fashion design, which I'm not saying if you're a dude you can't. I'm just saying most dudes walk into a house, throw up a picture, hangs a little crooked, who cares? That'll do. A woman comes in there like, we need this there,
in the kitchen?
We need this here, we need this here, and we need this, and all of your shit needs to be out there so I don't have to look at it.
Yeah, go out in the garage and handle that.
That's
don't
right.
come back in here for 3 hours.
That's right.
Okay.
All right.
Can I have beer?
Yeah. Will you bring me something if I get lonely? I need a sandwich. Go screw yourself.
Yeah, I don't know, man. It just the whole idea is that it just amazes me how talking heads get on the TV and tell you what to think. Mm-hmm. What you should believe and what you shouldn't believe. When we shouldn't even be paying attention to them idiots, we should be looking at the basic information and making decisions for ourselves.
Yeah.
And moving forward based on what is best for us. Not getting into a group and a club and going,
I so far for the last couple of years, it's been working out for me pretty good. I check in with the news about once a week. I have the Stitcher Smart Radio app, which, by the way, you can find Time Spent Poorly on the Stitcher Smart Radio app. But the Stitcher Smart Radio app also will give daily headline news, and I will look at it and see. They need
something like that, just a 30-minute or even a 15-minute.
Some of them
this week in the news.
Some of them are only every day. They're daily, and some of them are only a minute long. So, and I'm like, ooh, bite-sized morsels. This happened. Usually it's like, this happened, this is who was involved, this is what went down. No opinions are usually given or anything like that. It's just
my
facts.
worry and the way things always work out for me is I would look at it on Friday and they would say, anybody who played the stock market Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday is filthy rich now. It's Friday.
Damn it. That'd be my luck too, actually. But, other than checking out my Stitcher Smart Radio app, where you can find the Time Spent Poorly Podcast Network, I do not listen to the news. I don't seek out the news. I wait for you to tell me if anything cataclysmic has happened.
Come and throw my hand.
Yeah. Son of it. I'm like, uh-oh. I'm in for something now.
You see that? They're killing all the dogs. All the dogs are going to die now.
So, overall, I feel like I'm a fairly satisfied and happy individual for not having to put up with a whole bunch of freaking bullshit all the time.
I will say this, on the upside of this whole political arena is they voted down the president's budget for 2015, which was more spending.
Oh, good.
First time they did that.
That's good.
But he was going to have to hike taxes to get more spending. Well, guess what? They only had 2 people vote for it.
Ooh.
That means a whole bunch of his own boys have jumped ship.
Yeah.
A whole bunch
of them. All but 2, basically.
Yeah, the 2 of them that were there were probably Pelosi and
and Harry Reid.
Well, they're in different places,
but
you got Pelosi and somebody else in there, I'm sure. Barbara Boxer or something.
Oh, yeah, Barbara Boxer.
Yeah.
Barbara Boxer, Harry Reid, Nancy Pelosi. I have no problem with them.
Yeah, but when you got hundreds against and 2 for, I'm saying that's pretty unpopular.
Yeah. Pretty bad.
So we got saved there.
Nice. So when that happens and something proposed gets rejected, what do? They have to go and redo it or
start from scratch,
start it over,
change it to take the things off that people don't like, and it's like cleaning a fish. Ooh, we don't need that.
Yeah.
Look at this mess. Get rid of that.
Okay.
Ooh, the fins, we have to cut those off.
Yeah. So it would be like just getting be like, oh, well, screw that fish. It wasn't any good, and starting it over again.
I'm hoping.
Okay.
Yeah. But see, now what will probably happen is the other side of the aisle will come up with a budget, and then that side will shoot that one down.
Sure.
But you know what? That's the checks and balances, and that's the way it's supposed to work. You know?
You would hope.
The best government in the world is the government that doesn't do nothing.
Yeah.
Just stays out of our lives and lets us do.
That would be really fantastic.
Wouldn't it be great?
I mean, we're learning on a small scale level on a weekly basis just by trying to get this business launched together. And good Lord,
There's roadblocks everywhere.
Everywhere. It's so ridiculous.
We'll go this way. Oh,
Yeah.
damn. Let's go this way. Oh, man.
Yeah. So
we can do it, but we can only have this much of our own money.
right.
And you get this back.
Right. Cool. Thanks.
Okay. What if we go this way?
Yeah. So cool. So for every 1,000 we make 150. How's that fair?
Well, they're not taxes; they're fees
Oh yeah. They're fees.
and levies. And how many names for taking your money in there?
Bending one over, doing you dry. There's one. I think that's the newest one.
You know what? And it's like we did some business in Australia, and
Easy place to do business, by the way.
It just
too.
completely You just nailed. You just mailed a single set of clubs.
Just
Single
this
set,
morning.
and these were not big clubs.
The whole package came to 10 pounds, including packaging.
What was the cost?
$80.
What was the price of the clubs?
$128. Yep.
Kind of hard to figure out why it is. People are moving their
Everything.
production to
Anywhere else.
Because
Yeah.
it's cheaper
Yeah.
to just move the production there
Yeah.
than it is to make it here and ship it there.
Yeah.
Because we are in a world economy.
Yeah.
Because if you can't sell stuff around the world,
You're screwed.
yeah. Unless you're selling orange Julius's and hamburgers or something
Sure.
like that.
Something
you
that
know what I mean?
everybody-
If you're selling
yeah.
durable goods, which is what this is, you got to ship.
Yep.
Problem is there are tariffs and taxes and things like that are into those shipping fees.
$80.
Guess where that money goes?
Not in our pocket.
You got it.
Not in my pocket.
You got it.
I didn't even get all of that 128 either.
Yep. You got feed, didn't
Oh
you?
yeah, I think out of that. So he paid $208 for something I only
For
charged him
$128.
something that I
charged.
charged him for $128 for, and then I will turn around and maybe make 90 out of that. Or no, I maybe make 80 out of that 128.
Yeah, probably because
I got to pay you. I got to pay the taxes.
But you got a processing fee too because you used a company to exchange money, and they
PayPal,
need,
yep.
they need their
That was
cut.
like 7.5% or something like that. 8.5%.
Something to that. What I'm saying is, you get nailed. It's the 1-2 punch, man. You get punch drunk just trying, and then when it's all over, you go, okay, I have this much money, and I owe state and federal income tax on this.
Yeah.
Oh, but you don't have to pay sales tax.
Yeah. Yay. Oh, and luckily I don't have to pay state sales tax or state income tax on it either because I live in Idaho now, or whatever, Washington. now.
Yeah.
So, but I get screwed either way. I get it other ways though. I just changed my driver's license and registered my car to the state of Washington.
And slapped your forehead when they hit you with the price.
$92 for my license and $130 for my car registration.
Oh.
Yeah. So, thank God that we have no taxes on our freaking groceries.
They still get it from you.
Oh, it all
just from
comes out in the wash.
It's just a different door that
Yeah.
they take it out of.
Yep,
That's
yep.
all.
But you still see a bigger chunk of change at the end of the month when you get paid, though.
And for those of you that live in California, really know what we're talking
Yeah,
about.
definitely.
Because you're just going, my God. And I have to get do you have to get your vehicle smogged?
No, thank God. No.
Oh, wow. Okay,
No.
that's cool. I know in Idaho we don't, but
No.
I didn't know Washington.
I think maybe over in like Olympia and Seattle you might, but over here, since we're so close to Idaho, they didn't say anything about it.
We just let it drift into Montana.
Yeah, we don't care. Screw them. They're not here.
Montana.
Which is really close to Nebraska.
Nebraska.
Oh,
The
goodness.
Dakotas. And Anyways, what the hell were we talking about?
Getting screwed by taxes
Oh.
in our business that we want to plug now. It's that time.
So if you want to spend a whole hell of a lot of money and not get much product for it,
Yes, please go to rosewaterkinetics.com. You will spend somewhere between
You know what?
$80 and $200, and you'll get a stick of wood.
and let me explain this to
It
you
should
too.
help you make
We
it.
are by no means making a lot of money on this.
We have to charge what we charge just to break even sometimes.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes we take a loss.
We took it in the shorts
Sometimes we
several
do well.
times. Yeah.
But you have to understand, depending on the type of wood you want, that costs money.
Yeah.
We have to pay energy bills on running these machines. We have our time invested doing this. We
Driving,
have to
travel time to go get the wood because it's 2.5 hours away.
That's right. And when you quote somebody, I want a set of clubs. Well, there's going to be like $200. $200, dude.
You have
Really?
any idea how much
know
that's
what?
going to go into my pocket? Maybe $20.
I'm shoving $60 for the last 3 days of work in my pocket.
Yeah, and we're talking like 8 to 12 hours worth of work.
The rest of it
You
is
break-
all
yeah.
reinvested.
Yeah, you break that down. We're working for I think I broke it down on a club one time. I think I was working for like $4 an hour. I was like, oh, for Christ's sakes, yay,
No.
yay me! I'm gonna pay my house payment with this.
But that there are clubs and sets that we do make money on.
Yes.
And that's why we do the whole ball of wax, because we do it for the customers, man, because we want you to swing on the clubs.
Yes.
And we do.
We believe in our product is what is the thing, because
Yeah, absolutely.
I actually look the way I look right now. I have everybody that sees me, because I work from home, so people will go 2, 3, 4 weeks without seeing me sometimes, and I'll bump into people that are like, you've been losing weight? What have you been doing? I'm like, I've been eating better, and I've been swinging my clubs. That's all I've been doing. I've been doing push-ups on my shinning board and swinging the crap out of my clubs. And they're like, what does that even mean? And so sometimes I get a chance to pitch in a sales pitch to them. People that know what I'm talking about, they're like, oh, that's just from, like, you haven't been to the gym? No, I don't have a gym membership.
You should try it.
Yeah, please allow me to make you something, and you can enjoy this too. Yeah, I'm starting to get definition in my arms now that didn't used to be there.
Kind of exciting, huh?
It is, yeah. Like I don't usually flex for people very often, but since I'm on camera, there's starting to be like, I didn't used to have triceps, and there's triceps there now. So that's exciting. I'm very excited. Mike's starting to get solid as a rock over here too. My stomach's starting to get tight. I'm excited about it.
I'm 55 years old.
Yeah.
I don't have a sore joint in my body, which is a lot more than a lot of the people I see my age. They hurt. They grunt and moan when they get out of a chair. That's what this is for. I'm not saying become a competition meal swinger.
Right.
Or what are they? Meal rotation.
Yeah, meal rotations.
That's what Paul calls it.
Yeah.
And anyways, but if you swing these clubs, your mobility is going to become... It's going to increase 2-3 fold. You're going to be able to put your arms back behind yourself again, up over your head where you never used to be able to do it. Your chest is going to get solid. Your shoulders are going to get solid.
Yeah,
your joints are going to feel good.
I have pecs now. I never used to have pectoral muscles.
Which, if you're feeling good and you're feeling comfortable, you're going to feel like going out and doing the things that you used to do, which is going to increase your health that much more because now you're active. It's like a domino effect.
Yeah, it totally is. Speaking of not a sore joint in your body, I don't know what the deal was. I never had an injury. I never played tennis. I don't know what it was, but I'm going to put my elbow really close to the microphone and demonstrate. When I used to do this, you would hear an audible every time, and it would be so loud that my wife could hear it from across the room so loudly that she'd go, "Would you knock that off? You're grossing me out." And now this is the arm that would do it. And listen, you can't. You're screwing me up, man. That's Mike and his freaking thing. Nothing. Just barely.
But it's getting there, man.
That used to be like a... It was sounding really gross, and now you can just barely hear it.
Because your cartilage is building up.
It's starting to get a lot better in there.
And I think one of the things that we get up against worst is people, they see this and they're going, come on, how can that?
Yeah.
You're throwing a couple bowling pins around, man. That's not
and
the point.
It's such a low weight, too. They're like, how much does that weigh? Oh, that's only 2 pounds. What's that going to do for you? Trust me, just try it.
Yeah. that is the hardest thing, is getting somebody to try it, because I don't think I have ever had somebody come back after a week or two and go, this has done nothing for me.
Yeah.
They usually come back and go, so
how much again?
Those 5-pound clubs or what, man?
Yeah.
Because they realize, wow, all I needed to do was to be moving in the right directions and learn this discipline of these moves, which are thousands of years old. That's why it works so well. It's been around. Show me another means of fitness other than maybe running.
Right.
That's been around this long.
Right.
They trained armies using these clubs, man, because if you think about it, back then, the sword play, they were swinging from horses and stuff. They had to have mobility and strength and striking power and blocking power, and that's what these are striking and blocking moves.
Yeah. If you watch them very carefully, you could see the ability to strike.
In those days,
with
not
them.
knowing when the bad guy, because you didn't have helicopters and satellites telling you who was coming and who was gone. You not know when they're going to go out. You can't have your army all blown out from,
shoulder injury.
Certified.
Yeah, I can't fight today because I can't hold on to my sword.
Yes, you had to have a method that emulated what you were doing that increased your ability to do it without harming.
Without hurting anyone. You can't swing your sword around for 45
Play
minutes.
with that in your mind a little bit and come about the realization that this is a good thing. This is a real good thing. And the best part of getting this stuff from us is we will make it for you.
Yeah, to your specifications.
Ask you what your hands are, what your intentions are,
what you want it to
we
look like.
recommend if you don't know. If you are an avid club swinger, then tell us what you want, and we'll make it for you.
Yep, if you're after something specific, we'll make that for you
And
too.
I don't think anybody makes them as pretty as we do.
I'm going to have to say that I completely agree with you on that. And that's not just bragging rights. We've looked around, and there's some other stuff that's pretty decent looking, and there's some other stuff that we're like, I think they got their wood from Home Depot.
Yeah,
It's pretty shitty.
And the problem with that is it's wet wood. It's not air dried. We use furniture grade wood. We use we use wood that has been dried for years.
Yeah.
This is stable wood.
I think the youngest wood, or the least amount of air drying time that we use is like 5 years, I think.
The last wood I'm making the thing out of right now was dried for 4 years.
Yeah, the wood I have out in my shop right now, I just bought all of it was dried for 5.
Yeah.
So and I have some black walnut
not
from my
dried,
grandpa.
air dried.
Yeah.
So I mean, it dried slowly, and it didn't break any of the fiber in the woods and stuff.
I got some black walnut out there from my grandpa that's been air dried for 38 years, and we've been using 100-year-old redwood, which that probably deserves a small little discussion like we had at lunchtime
red fir,
today.
Not redwood.
Sorry, red fir.
I mean, it might as well be redwood. It basically has the same property.
Oh my God, I wish we could get our hands on a fallen redwood. That'd be so awesome.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure they don't allow that out of sight. But
no, I think the cutting of the old redwood's probably pretty much done.
I mean, just things that fall down naturally. Even I bet you they don't let those cut loose, or they don't cut loose of those either.
No.
But 100-year-old red fir. Everybody hears red fir. They don't hear the 100-year-old part. The red fir is pretty much what we build all of our.
It's construction grade lumber.
Yeah,
that's what they use to frame houses and
our houses out of.
And it's sawed while it's green. It's stacked. They paint the ends to keep it from cracking, and then they ship it off. So when you get it, it's still wet.
It's still wet.
You hit it with a hammer, and it squirts you in the face with water. It's that green.
Yeah.
Which means when it dries,
it's going to start to twist and turn.
It twists and it cracks.
Yeah. However, 100-year-old red fir, that's a little bit different, because we actually do not have trees like this type of red
quarter
fir.
sawn red.
It's quarter sawn red fir, and I don't know. I always think it's funny because Mike and I both hear people like, "Oh, you're going to use some red fir on that?" Well, no thanks. Or you'll get, "Oh, I can go to Home Depot for that." Oh, really? You're going to go to Home Depot and find 100-year-old air dried?
This is old gross stuff. This is first cut stuff.
Yeah,
this was cut back in the day out of trees.
Your grandpappy was a kid
that were almost the girth of this room.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I'm in. I think this is a 10 by 10 room. Yeah.
Just huge stuff, man. And they would float it down the river. Did you know? Matter of fact, out in the river, those big piles of rocks. Did you know those were log anchors?
Oh, really?
Yeah, they would tie the logs together, and they would tie it to that, and they would just tie it and start letting it down a little at a time, and then to the mill, and the mill would pull it out of the water. Horses would
Smart.
Drag that stuff up the ramp.
That's
and
so much it's so much easier than trying to drag it with a wagon.
Yeah. But inner green piece and all that, and that stuff's all been changed.
Yeah, definitely.
Anyways, the point being, it being old growth is a very old tree, a very dense tree, naturally grown. These days, you've heard about how they genetically manipulate vegetables and stuff. They do the same thing with trees. These days, they make a tree that will be harvestable in somewhere between 25 to 30 years. If you look at the grains, the rings,
they're really far apart.
They're very far apart. And now the wood between those dark rings is called spring wood. That's soft as cork.
So soft, yeah.
If you look at the redford we're talking about, I mean, those things,
they're like millimeters apart.
Yeah,
like,
which makes it a very hard wood.
So, yeah,
you can't find it anymore.
Yeah, it's really. But we had some old buildings out in at one of our sawmills that they're getting kind of systematically deconstructed so that this old wood can be resold.
Yeah,
and that's how we've come across it. So until they stop taking those things apart.
Quick story here. I'll even tell you about the quality of this wood, because I was out there looking over some stuff for us to do, some projects we were working on, and ran into a guy we were both looking at the same chunk of wood as why, and we got talking, and this guy builds guitars.
Oh, okay.
And makes the top, I guess what would you call it, the roof of the guitar.
And he builds guitars locally?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. I didn't know anybody was doing that. For a price.
Special people.
Yeah, gotcha.
I'm not going to drop names.
But,
gotcha. He says, he goes, man, you can't find this kind of wood that's air dried.
For this long. Yeah.
He goes, you know what? I'll get probably 10 pieces, 15 pieces out of a board like this that's usable for me. I'm going, no kid, man, that's amazing. He goes, look how straight, it's all quarters. I go, I know. Well, I'm looking forward to.
Preaching to the choir, man.
Yeah, it's a different purpose, right? He was asking me, he's going, oh, man, that's amazing.
That's cool, yeah.
So we sat there for probably 30 minutes and
BSing and stuff.
Yeah.
Cool.
Talk dirt on, what's his name there?
Larry.
Yeah.
Good old Larry.
Talk dirt on Larry. And, anyways, he was telling me, he goes, you know what I do is I get, it's like a drumstick thing I carry with me. It was basically a wood dowel.
Sure.
And he goes, and you could hit it and it'll ring.
Oh, wow.
And I'm going, no kidding. I never heard that. And he's going, check this out. And he hits it and it just it's hard.
Really soft.
Yeah, you hear dong. And he goes, and that's what I look for. He goes, because when I cut it and I plane it down to where it's like a 1/16 of an inch thick, that's the quality I want in the guitar. I want that
ring or that tone.
That's right, because that roof of that guitar with the hole right in the middle is what makes the tone of that guitar.
Okay.
And he goes, and if I'm making 7, 8, 9, 10 guitars, I need a big enough piece of the same wood.
So I'll get the
they're
tone.
all identical. So that's why he's getting these big honks.
Makes sense.
And it's very interesting. You know, it's nice to meet a craftsman that does something different than you do.
Yeah.
And discuss the ins and outs of what it is you did. He was completely amazed by what we did. Because I'm going, man, I don't have the patience to build a guitar. And he's going, I don't think I have the know-how to do what you're doing. How do you make two of those? How can you possibly,
Yeah.
Blah, 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 blah,
Yeah,
blah,
back
blah,
and forth, sharing the trades. Yeah.
Yeah. And it was quite enjoyable, actually.
Interesting.
Excuse me. There's just not many, there's not many of us around anymore.
No, there really isn't.
That do that kind of thing. Everything's industrialized now.
Well, and I was teasing my wife about she was wanting me to order some sort of wooden widget from Amazon or whatever, and I was like, people like you are putting people like me out of business, right? Thanks a lot. And she's like, oh, whatever. I'm like, yeah, you're right. People like you have been putting people like me out of business since the late 70s. So ever since they figured out how to, mass produce wooden things and metal things and whatnot. Yeah. So
what you get there out of mass production is you don't have the guy doing this on each and every little piece.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, looking it over and putting his own little stamp on it and whatnot.
That green runs the wrong way.
Yeah.
We need to,
set it aside.
It shoots out.
Yep. So, we've been talking for a good hour, 15 minutes now, so I guess
I'm done.
Yeah, I guess
I ain't talking no more.
Guess we're out of things to talk about.
Sitting around talking.
So,
But anyways, yeah, man. Kudos to Nathan for putting this place together, man. We're starting to get things rolling good again here. We're back on every week. That's amazing in itself.
Yeah.
Like I said, the last month, is just so weird, man. It was hard to get anything scheduled, done, figured out, and then usually if you thought you had it, the weather wouldn't cooperate.
Yep.
Something
kept
would
coming up. Yep.
Yeah,
so we figured it out. Eventually it's going to actually look good in here, hopefully. We're still going to keep on fine-tuning things, obviously the walls and whatnot.
Might be kind of fun for you to tune in just to see what's changed.
Yeah, because that's not going to stick around for much longer. I'll tell you that right now, because that looks like ass.
Anyways,
we have a cool picture that needs to get put up with the monkey with headphones on, all kinds of fun stuff that needs to get put up still. So we're going to
head out of here then, I guess. We're going to quit bending your ear, and we'll be back again here next week. It's the same way we always are.
Sure.
Or try to be.
BSing after our Super China.
And, man, swing these clubs, man, and get healthy and get out and do stuff, man. Live long. Feel good. Don't sit there in front of that TV and drink beer and eat burgers and get fat and slow and hurt and feed doctors. Feed yourself. Get out and do it in 3 dimensions. Don't watch it in 2. We're out.
For all of this and more, go to timespentpoorly.com. If there's a club idea that you want, contact us. Go to rosewaterkinetics.com.